Hey y'all!
It's the Thaunties! And it's Thauntie Thursday! And as you can see, we are on location today at lovely Allen Art Studios.
That's it.
At Melwood Art Center. This is the beautiful, or I should say the lovely, Tamisha, lovely Allen, who has done all of these works of art.
Amazing.
They are beautiful, Tamisha. So thanks for having us at your studio.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for being on the show this week. Thanks to y'all for watching, all the likes, subscribes, shares that y'all been doing. We appreciate you so much for supporting the Thaunties. For those tuning in for the first time, we are the Thaunties, a talk show from Louisville, Kentucky that focuses on just being the best you, supporting others, and being a little sophisticated from time to time. So Tamisha, when you first heard the word Thauntie,
what did you think?
I thought Thaunties.
Oh, good! Oh my gosh! You're the first person to say that. Yay! But somebody gets it.
do y'all get offended when people say the auntie?
No, the aunties?
Yeah. I get offended. I'm like, it don't say no auntie. We
Oh,
Thaunties.
yeah, no, but I do get offended when they're like, the thoughts?
No, I didn't see that at all.
See?
But so many people say that.
people
They're
say
the
that.
They want to see thought.
Everyone that has came on the show has called us a thought.
Yeah,
Like,
they
no.
want to see thought, and that's not what it is.
No, I didn't see
So thank
it.
you for knowing
Good.
phonics.
Because I know
And how
what
to
you
read.
guys are like.
Thank
That name doesn't match the image of the lady. So.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And for
right.
y'all that don't know us, I'm Fifi, sometimes the Buns. I'm with Tamisha today. I act really good when I'm in Tamisha's presence. Because that's what she exudes. So I'm going to be Fifi today.
This is gonna be good.
This is going to be a
Be
first
yourself,
time,
girl.
ladies and gentlemen.
If this glass goes down,
She's gotta
come up.
Transform for your eyes.
But I am 1/3 of the Thaunties. These are my co-hosts.
Mika J.
I'm Foxy.
And this is what we do every Thursday.
Love it.
Oh, that was
So-
a rhyme. Mika J, Foxy, every Thursday.
That's good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And we
Y'all
dropping
need to write that down.
And we
That's a
dropping boys. Yeah. And for y'all out there who think, well, what is a Thauntie? So a Thauntie is a term of endearment for a mature, confident woman with a turn up in her spirit. But first you gotta handle your business.
Handle your business.
Do what you're supposed to do.
That's right.
Be a lady, but every now and then we like to turn up.
And guess what, guys? It is my season. It is almost my birthday, so you should be so excited for me.
Oh, yeah. We are so excited. So, last year in your fortes.
Oh my God, it is.
What you gonna do?
Well, I don't know. Wherever the wind blows me.
Have fun.
I'm gonna have fun. Yes, I'm gonna have a good time. So we're gonna celebrate on Saturday, dinner, and wherever the city leads us after dinner. And then I think on my actual birthday, I'm gonna do something that I've always wanted to do, and I want to go to the Roots 101 Museum.
Yeah.
I want to see Static's. That'd be a
exhibit?
great birthday for me. I want to see his exhibit, and I just want to I want to start really experimenting in Louisville. I don't get out like that here.
Yeah.
And I think it's a disservice to some of us. Like, you know, we live here, but you don't visit everything
you want to
that's
be
here.
a tourist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hometown
I'm gonna be a
tourist.
tourist on
Yeah,
tour.
well,
Your city.
Roots 101
Yes.
is beautiful, and
It
you will
sure
enjoy
is.
yourself.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So y'all hear that's what she want to do. It's a
have
good
to
day.
go.
You want to cash at me? You can.
Dang, not
Yeah.
even if you want to take me and spend the day, cash out me. Just send me. Just take
Just send me. I really need you to go on my adventure.
I really want your company.
You're saying I want to be a solo
I want to be
adventurer.
a solo
And you
adventurer
earned it.
that
I like
day.
deserve it.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Oh, so you
my
want to spend
day.
your birthday by yourself, just being you?
Yes,
You should do a picnic.
yes.
So
I
go
hear
to
you
Roots
about that.
101.
That would be
Nice.
cool.
Go
Now
have
you
your
really
little
stuck with us
picnic.
though, for real. But anyway.
I am because
we
we're
gotta work.
shooting later that day. Yeah, but it's okay. I'm excited for the shoot.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Just,
too.
just give yourself the
I
whole weekend.
am. You know what I am.
So Tamisha, what about you? When's your
Deserve it.
birthday?
My birthday's January 8th.
You're Capricorn.
Lovely.
that
Capricorn and
explains it
Cancer. I
all.
feel like we yin and yang.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how all the signs
Yeah.
work. I'm just saying, yep, I'm a Capricorn.
Yep. Capricorns, they are go-getters.
Yeah, very
fierce,
ambitious.
very
Yes.
ambitious,
Yeah.
very organized, very
Yes.
strategic, which is what we see here
what we
today.
see here today.
Yeah, it's
Just
important.
don't go through my
awesomeness.
big jump drawer. You don't want to see that. Got a couple of those. No.
Everyone has a junk drawer,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
So
You
tell
don't?
us more
No, I
about the lovely Allen Art Studio and how you became an artist.
Well, I guess it starts back in my youth. I guess a lot of artists will say, well, I've been drawing ever since I was a kid, which is true.
Yeah.
I was that, you talked about
Yes.
the awkward, quiet,
Yeah.
introverted, drawn in. I was like that as a kid. And I felt like just drawing and creating was my outlet. That was one space where I could just fully be myself and not have to really include anybody else in it.
But you know what? It seems like a lot of creative people are that same exact way. Like that's their release, is whatever that crafty, their niche is,
Yeah.
that's how they release everything. Whether it be
Yeah.
on the canvas or in like with Robin G with her poetry, singers singing. So I think that's pretty cool. That's why I was telling her before the show that my daughter has just started becoming more artsy. And,
It's a great outlet, and I know a lot of people whenever they say, because my background's accounting, like, oh, you did accounting and you're an artist, and I find that it's very common for people who are have a numbers background, also have a creative side. Like my son, my middle son, he is going to school for engineering.
Oh, okay.
But he's also a musician.
Yes.
Yes.
They
Okay.
are
Yes, I love that.
they very
Yes.
much correlate.
Yeah. So it's just, it's that balance of constantly having to do everything one way. Because, with math, there's only one right answer. But when it comes to the arts, there are no rules.
Right.
You make it
I
yourself.
didn't think about that. That's
yeah.
that's a release then.
It is.
Yeah.
And plus the other side of it is that a lot of creative people, not all, but most creative people that I know are more introverted and drawn in, and when they're out in public, they're working really hard to try to socialize and interact and not seem weird. But when they're creative, it's just theirs. It's only their own voice. There is no team in it. It's just, I get to do this and this is mine. So you don't have to connect with anybody. So it's just the lone thing you do that's for yourself. So,
That's cool.
yeah.
So are you a trained artist?
I am not. So,
Really?
so
Are
yeah.
you serious?
No, I'm not. So I went to school when I was younger. I just knew I wanted to be an artist, but there was no internet or social media. I didn't know any local artists. I didn't know the local arts community. Actually, my last art class in school, like grade school, was 7th grade.
Really?
But I always knew I wanted to be an artist. But because I didn't know what that world looked like, all I had ever heard of was starving artists. And I'm like, I'm not trying to starve,
What I am going to do is make some money.
Yeah, so thanks to my counselor, she knew I wanted to go to college. She helped me out so much. She, everything was paper back then, but she encouraged me to go into accounting because I was really good with numbers. And that I went to Butler, and Butler you could choose a major.
Yes.
And mine was accounting.
Okay.
So I just went in through that path, and I never took any art classes. So I think one of the first things I could say is if you're a young person who is very creative and artistic, and in any form, or you have something, theater, whatever it is you're passionate about, don't neglect it when you go to college. Like you're in a space to grow, and it's not just grow in a career. It's a space to grow holistically.
Right.
Yeah.
So take some classes. I regret not taking any art classes.
So you didn't even take them in college
No,
either?
I didn't take
Girl,
either.
you're amazing.
Yeah, none. I took none, but it was something God gave me.
Yeah.
And I remember when my kids were little, I wanted to create. My kids were back to back. Like when my third one was born, my youngest was still 2. So I really did. I struggled trying to find time, and I used to ask the Lord, like, Lord, if this is what you want for me, make space for it. But if it's not, take the desire away.
Right.
Because I felt like when I wasn't able to create, kind of like with exercise, if I couldn't do that, then I wasn't my best version of myself. And I'm just thankful that now I'm in a space and in a season of my life where my kids are doing really, really great. They're good kids.
Yeah.
They're doing good things, and I can focus on things I love for myself. So so it's a lot of practice that went into learning, and I'm still practicing and learning to get better.
Well,
So.
ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you see what I see, but she's pretty dope. This
Thank
is
you. I
for
appreciate
no
it.
training. Yeah, you're amazing.
Thank you.
Yes.
And so, are you open every day?
Well, I need to start working on some real hours. Like when my kids were in school, I really did. I was here a lot, but I was more so floating based on where I needed to be, because that was always my first priority when it came to my time, was making sure I was a present mother. So, but now I'm starting to think about what kind of hours I would like to have once they're all gone off to college. But I'm here most of the time, like most of the day hours, or if there's an event happening here, because Melwood has all kinds of things going on.
Always.
I try to come in sometimes, so I'm here quite often, especially during
So
the day.
how do you sell your?
I have a website.
You have a website.
So I sell through my website. I do art shows like St. James and Big Four. Those are the big two. Since COVID, I'm just kind of getting back into that space. And I'm slowly moving in. So Big Four and St. James are my thing. And then I also do art gallery shows.
Yeah.
And so then I also will submit art for things. And so, like, for example, I did this piece here and this one here were for a specific place, and they pay you in advance to create the work based on their theme. And the theme was called Southern Women. So, you know, so like they're paying you in advance for the creative idea.
That's dope. Yeah.
So those opportunities
Was it
come up.
selected?
Yeah.
It's nice. I
Well,
love it.
they had, the way it worked is I worked with them before. Actually, these two pieces here was during 2020 when, you know,
During the riots
whole
and things,
world
yeah.
was, you know, and that theme, this one actually was called, I can't remember the name of the show, but it was based on using photo references of past and present of civil rights and protests.
nice.
And so they reach out to you and say, hey, this is what we want to do. And then, you know, you say yes if they, you know, if they have already selected, but you have to base the work on what they say. So they've already approved it. It's more so just producing it.
Yes.
So they give you your creative freedom, which I really, really appreciate. It's the Danville Arts, it's the Art Center of Kentucky, which is in Danville, Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they have been fun to work with. Even with that show, they created like workbooks for kids so they can interact with it.
Oh,
like they just think
nice.
about the whole community.
Right.
You know, so it's not like just adults going to look at art. It's, you know, what can the teenagers learn? What can the little children learn from participating in this exhibition? So
That's cool.
You know, that's a fun show. But so yeah, I have a number of different avenues, and then I also diversify my products. So I don't only sell paintings. I sell bookmarks and postcards and tote bags.
Oh,
So
We're going to get you some bookmarks.
so I sell them because I think about, like, there are artists that I love that I know I can't afford. And I also know that people do love art, but they can't always
Because it's expensive.
So I put it in different different
I'm looking at some of these
ways.
I know how much.
Those prices. Oh yeah.
So by having them in different ways, like for example, if you're a college students can't put holes in. College students collect art. You know, so they buy the postcards because they can put them in a frame or they can put it on the wall. You know, you have some people that are avid readers. Bookmarks, you know, so I just try to connect with things that I know I collect. I collect bookmarks. I collect postcards and never send them out. I have so many tote bags. So I collect things I like and sell those things because I know that there is an audience for those. And people may not necessarily want, there are some people who have a lot of art, but they don't have any room on their walls, but they might use a mug, you know, so I just think about the different kinds of people and the different spaces of life they're in. So
I just noticed the tote bag.
and then I have work in different places, like at the tourism center downtown. There's some, they have a lot of my postcards. And then the art center, every so often they'll grab some of my inventory. And I'm about to reach out to some other places, but I had to restock. So.
This is
so
really
great.
cool.
So how long have you officially been in the art world?
I would say 2018 is when I really started to try, like I started making product. That's when I did St. James. That was the first time I did like an actual art show. I had a studio that was outside of my home. And then 2019 was when I really like started, you know, pushing the business side, you know, but then COVID hit. But because of doing art fairs and shows in 2019, I was really busy during COVID doing commission work.
Oh, nice. So it kind of worked out, right?
It did, yeah. And so now I'm at this space where now I'm going to try to start really. The part that I struggle with is marketing. It's like
because you are so introverted. Yes,
I'm not a social media person. I'm terrible.
Well, luckily you have a son.
They're too busy for us. They're too busy for me.
I'll help you.
They're too busy for me. They're like pushing their own products out. Like they're their own business people. They're like, Mama, we don't have time for you.
We will get you together.
Yeah, that's the part, like just trying to post. I have so much footage and information about things that I'm working on and things that I'm doing, but I'm just inconsistent with sharing and
Yeah.
posting.
Yeah.
So
It's a lot, though.
it
It's a
is.
lot.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Well,
I
you-
also
go ahead,
participate
sorry.
in the cultural pass.
What is
Oh,
I just saw
yes,
that.
This is my
okay.
Yeah.
third year.
Tell
yeah.
more people. Tell them about the culture pass.
So
'cause
yeah,
most
if
people
you're
don't.
21 years or younger, or you have a child inside those age groups, inside that age range, you can go to the library. Even if you're from out of town and you come to Louisville, you can go to the library, pick up a pass, and the pass basically gets you into about 50 different places in the city. The idea
Can she
is
sneak
to
into Roots 101 for her birthday?
she could
But you know
if
what?
she takes her
If
daughter.
I take my
if you
daughter,
take your
yes,
daughter,
because the
yes, you
parent
can.
is also important.
Yeah,
on
a
that.
parent.
Oh,
And they
that's
said
cool.
if you have up to a certain amount of kids, you can have both parents. So, but usually when I have mine, if the parents are here, everyone comes in. You know.
Oh, that's nice.
I really will. My goal is to encourage parents to create so their kids can see them do it.
Oh,
But
love that.
so yeah, so you go and the zoo is on there, the science center. The Fraser Center,
Yeah.
the Bella Louisville used to be on there. I'm not
I
sure if
think
they're
it
there
was
anymore.
on there.
But what's cool, like I always tell my kids, you guys need to get one because college students are broke. High
said
school
the
students
same
are broke.
thing.
That is
And
a
if you
good
don't
idea.
drive, you need a ride. And
Yeah.
so then it's just a little easier for you to get to do things
Yeah.
with your friends when
Yeah.
you're not paying a fee
Yeah.
to get into everything.
That part.
And
And just in case you guys didn't know, TARC is giving away free rides to anyone under 21. So if you want to go and grab you a TARC pass, you can do that and your child can ride for free. And if they are a small child, the parent also gets that free
Oh,
pass.
wow, that's great.
Yes, I saw that
Yeah.
on the news today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
awesome.
So no excuse. Get
Yeah,
out.
get out.
Get
Yeah,
some
it's a lot of
culture
opportunity.
this
Yeah.
summer.
And with my pass, mine is based on arts materials exploration. So I just instead of like giving them this little bag with a project, I just pull a lot of things out and they make what they want. So I mean, so it's like I find that most kids. I've not had a kid come in and say that they're not. They may say they're not creative like
But then they
teenagers,
do.
but they get into
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And so when they have the freedom to, like, they can collage, they can paint, they can do something abstract, they could do something literal, they can draw, they can do a coloring book, or, an adult coloring book. There's so many options, and it's like when you have something where everyone's doing the exact same thing, especially when you're like at preteen age. You're looking at what everyone else is
Yes, that's a
doing,
good point.
and you're like, oh, well, mine's is not as good. Well, if you're making your own thing, then there's no one to compare it to
Right,
because it's your own creative voice. So we just come in and we have fun. I play music, and
So are there certain hours for your cultural pass?
This year I'm only doing 5 days.
Okay.
5 days. I used to do it once a week and then 1 weekend a month. But being by myself, I have some teenagers that would come and help. It's just a lot to
Yes.
carve out that amount of time. So now I do 1 Saturday a month. I found that Saturdays were always my best day because that's when parents were not working.
Right.
And so there was more flexibility in their schedule. So I'm like, okay, I'll do these. I have 1 Friday on there, but the other ones are all Saturdays.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
So.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, as you can see, my cup's coming down a little
doing
bit.
great, girl.
I'm going slowly, but since it has gone down, it's time to do what we like to call drop it like a Thauntie.
Okay.
And that's what we
I'm
talk
nervous.
about.
Be nervous. I'm nervous.
This is what
nervous.
we talked about, hot topics.
Okay.
And I think that, a great hot topic is something we talked about a little bit before the show, is the second act in life.
Yes.
And figuring out your second act and how to pivot to that.
Yeah.
So how did you do that? How did you make the move and leave corporate America to become an artist?
Well, I think one of it was that we were planning this from the beginning. Like, I've been married 25 years, and my husband knew from the very beginning that this is my passion, that is my career. So
No, that's right.
what I do. And I love accounting, but like we're building, like I supported him in building his business, and now he's supporting me in building my business. So, so it's something that we were preparing for from the beginning. And it's something I already knew I was passionate about. But what I was saying was that a lot of people in our generation are finding second acts. Like, it's no longer that mindset of I'm just going to work at this place and I'm going to retire from
Right.
this place. It's the mindset of I work at this place, but I need something that is me.
For me.
Some
Yes.
people are event planners, some people are interior designers, some people,
Our Thaunties.
Some people are
podcasts. Yes, exactly. Like, podcasters, there's photographers.
Yes.
And it's more so like just, you know, like you find this thing that you thought was just fun that you were doing to help somebody.
That part.
And then it ends up being
Your
something
niche.
like, and it gives you life, and it actually makes that day job more pleasurable because you have something that you're passionate
And you're
pursuing.
looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and I think that that's very common. I mean, like especially women. I know so many women who are just really thriving in their second active life, where they're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And to the point to where they're able to leave at some point because they've built their business.
Oh, no, that's what we're hoping
You're
for.
working on it,
ladies
and it's gonna
gentlemen.
be, you know. But you know, they build it up to the point to where it can be their own thing, you know, their only thing. And so for us, it was, you know, we like in the very, very beginning, we had the mindset of living on one income. No matter how much money came in, this is the income. And so when so then it left more room for saving. And we were also
smart.
like, we're not real materialistic in the sense like I don't know anything about brands or anything like that. So our children weren't raised to know those things. So then when it came to holidays, or they don't expect a lot because they don't, you know, so, you know, we were always, even with vehicles, we drove the oldest cars. People are like, are you rolling in that? Like, yeah. It's paid for, you know. That's right. You know, so I think it was just that we were already, because we were thinking about a bigger plan, like we love to travel.
You had a bigger picture.
That's something we were passionate about, is traveling. And so our kids were able to travel with us. And then, you know, and then also being able to not work until we're 85 and not, you know, doing something that is not what we love. But if I'm going to be working at 85, I want it to be something I love, which is this, you know, or whatever the Lord leads me to, you know. So I think that was the main thing, was just living more simple and being focused on what we were doing and not looking at what anybody else was doing, you know.
And you know what? To be that young and
to figure that out then.
That part. I mean,
I'm just now realizing all of that.
I know, and it's so late, and now you feel like it's a rat race because you just now figuring out, and you feel like you gotta catch up and overcorrect. I feel like.
I mean, there are things that you learn that you figure out that you're not doing right even in that journey.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, but I think the other side of it is that, like, I know, like, and I don't know your background, but I know when you come from a background where you don't have much, you know, and then you finally have, you do want to have nice things. Like for us, you know, we had our own idea of what we thought was something we wanted for ourselves, and it just wasn't certain things. Everyone has their own idea of what that is. It's just how we went about doing that. Like, you know, saving for it versus, you know, accumulating
credit card.
That part.
But that's a hard thing not to
It
do,
is a hard
because
thing.
you know, you grow up and you just, you know, you see your parents work so hard and it's doing the basics, you know, because they're just working just to keep things afloat, and you're like, I want to have something, you know. And so, you know, it's just finding that balance, you know.
Now, then both of you are, because I know your husband, so I know he's probably always had that mentality. But did you have it as well, or did he learn it from you? Okay.
No, like when we were, like, I met Orlando when I was 19.
Okay.
And he was 20. We were in college. We both had our, no, was I 20? I don't know. I was 20. I think I was 20. But when we met, he definitely had the same drive and ambition he had. Mine was, I would never marry and have kids. Like, I always say that all the time. Like, I'm moving away. I thought I was going to live in Charlotte. I was going to be single my whole life and have 0 children. Like, I'm going to be just doing
Total.
I mean, all about me.
5 years later.
Yeah, and I still live in Louisville. I have 3 children and I'm married, but I love it. I'm thankful that God knew what was better for
Girl,
me.
don't
He
you
knew
always
what
have?
was best for
That's
me.
what
Ideal
blessed
is
us.
not always the best idea.
Yeah, because I had my plan.
Yes.
You know,
our plans
and
are
that was not his
his.
plan. Yeah, so, but yeah, we both had our own. I was more corporate ladder driven. Like, you know, I was thinking about moving up, being a partner. But then once I became a mom, I'm like, I didn't have that, you know, like I was just more so, I'm like, I want to be focused on building up my own children. Like I know my own mother, you know, and father, you know, like they worked all the time. And it wasn't, and it was just to provide basic things, you know, and it's like they missed out on a lot of things that they could have been a part of because they were working. And so I'm like, I have the luxury of having options. So there were seasons that I came home and I was at home with my kids. and as a working stay-at-home mom, and I did like the accounting of our business, just our business stuff, because you know Orlando's self-employed. But then there were seasons where I'd go back and work in corporate accounting. But I had the flexibility because we were in the mindset of living on a side income.
That's the blessing.
Yeah, and it's not and I took it seriously because I know that is not something everyone can have.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I have the opportunity to do that, I'm going to take advantage of it. So God really did bless me with the opportunity to like pour into them, you know, and be present, you know, in ways that I know my parents wish they could have, you know. So
So when did you, or, because I think you're being very modest just sitting here in accounting, because I heard you were like at the top firm, you like you said you were making your way, like you were a really big deal. So what was the moment you were like, you know what, this is it?
I think when family is first, you don't want anything to ruin what you're building. And like I said, we didn't have anything to build from in the first place, in the sense of like we didn't have a lot of material things. Or so when you don't have a lot, it's like it's easier to walk away from things because you don't get used to anything.
That was
you know what I mean?
Smart.
I love that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so when I was in we got married young. I was like, when I graduated from college, I was 23, he was 24. So you're coming out of college, you already know what that looks like. And in that period of time, you know, when we graduated, we go straight to getting a house, getting our own place. You don't go home. You go find your own place. So you're already living on your own, and you're already paying your own bills. And so we were already, you know, simply living. You know what I mean? So when I loved what I was doing, but because I was married, I felt like it was interfering with my marriage. So in the sense of like with public accounting, I worked at the #1 ranked accounting firm. It was Price Waterhouse at the time. I loved my job. I loved the people I work with. But, you know, because of the kind of job it is, you know, you could just be sent anywhere at any time, and you don't have a choice. You know, like, that's why they pay you so well. You know, you're at there like we missed a number of things because like, oh, we need you to go here and do this inventory, and you're there till 3 in the morning. You know, so you don't really own your life. And then one of the challenges we got married in February. Well, that's busy season. And so if you want to take off for your anniversary, that's a no. You know, so I felt like if I was single, it would have been different, but being married, it was kind of like not conducive to us having a healthy marriage. So, you know, that was something that I moved from, and then I moved into corporate accounting, which was more, you know, you stable, you stay here. So, but yeah, I think it was just because I was married younger, and you know, your perspective of how you want your life to be just changes.
But the fact that you had your hard boundaries was, you know what I'm saying? Because at that age, a lot of us aren't choosing our family. You're choosing the goals, the career.
It's a choice.
You're choosing that.
You make the choice. So. That's cool, learning your story. Look, let's go down more. You ready to go deep? You ready to go deep? Because now it's time for Ask the Thaunties. And typically what we do is put our guests in the hot seat and ask hot seat questions, but her husband will kill me. So we're not going to do that today. But, so this is a good question for all of us. So, recently, to give you a little bit background, so her husband reached out and he's just like, hey, you know, can I get some time on your calendar? And I'm like, did you text the right person? And he was like, well, yeah, it's Felicia. Like, who did I think I was texting? I was like, oh, well, I didn't know I was important enough for people to ask me to get on my calendar, but this is the day I'm free. So I met him for lunch, and he asked me a question that was so hard to answer. And he asked me, what can I do to help you? And I have never really had nobody ask me that. Like, people always say, like, what you need. And I'm not talking about family, because you can just go to them. But I've never really thought about what I needed. So if somebody asked me that, I didn't know how to answer the question. And I'm just like, well, I don't know. So somebody asked you, like, what would you say you needed?
Oh, right now, in my present state and what I'm trying to do, I would just be like, real transparent. Like, what I need right now is someone to just give me strict direction in how to start this business that I'm trying to. I mean, like, I am really trying, and it's so difficult to navigate how to do it without buying into a franchise or somebody's business is already a business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you're trying to do it from the ground, it's so hard. Like, there's so many rules. I keep coming over finding new rules every time I get this far. I'm like, here's one more rule. Oh my God. And it's so much money.
Yeah.
I would be like, can I get like $100,000 loan and like somebody to like mentor me?
Yeah. So you need money and a mentor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I comment on that?
Yes.
So there is an organization in the city called AMPed. They do the cohorts, like it's like a school for businesses, and they provide you with all the resources. Like I was in their first cohort. Like they give you classes, they give you a finance person, they provide you with a life coach. You have sessions every week where you meet. There's a workbook that you're going through, and you have your cohorts that your classmates basically. And there's a graduation, and it's about a year long. And
a year.
Yeah,
I did a cohort.
Yeah, and you did with them?
Not with them. It was with Woodforest National Bank. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's cool about it is they do pitch competitions inside of it.
Yeah.
So you get to pitch your businesses to investors, and they will give you resources if you win. And it's like a no strings attached type of thing. It's like, you won. This is yours, so then you can pour into your business. So they show you how to build a pitch. So you're working on pitches. Now I know that's what it was like when I was there, and it was the very first one. So I know it's gotten better and better over time because I think they're on.
We
their
had to
fourth
practice
one.
a pitch, but we did not get.
You can win money. You can win. Yeah, they have they meet. I mean, it was just really good because like for example, if you needed help building your LLC, there's an accounting firm that they have. And they'll do it for you. And it's a part of the program. If you need someone,
Is this a program you can apply for? It's free.
You do apply for it. It is free.
It is
free.
Yeah.
You do apply for it, but they do have a wait list. I think the next one just started.
It did.
It just started, and they also work with the Urban League. And so, but yeah, it's a great program and they target Black businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the panel right here, the
Thaunties.
I gotta get it right in my
Listen, we know the picture gonna be like.
No, I think this is
medium.
a good because I don't think I've seen this. This is good. Like you have women who have lived some life and has life experience, and there's a community of young women. Like, cause a lot of programs, it's like they have the kids. And then they have the teenagers sometimes, but then it's like there's a space where there's no support. In that, that 20-something years, like you just there's just like that untapped community, and so you're able to reach young ladies in the city,
and that's what they need. They need a Thauntie.
That's it.
Tell them what to do.
That's it.
Kamika, what would you say you needed if somebody asked you?
I don't know. I guess I'm like you. Like first of all, I don't know what my pivot is. So I think if I was to be asked that question, I would probably want someone to sit down and help me to figure out what my next chapter is. Like they would, dig deep to find out what my passion is. Yes, maybe.
Letty is good. Letty Johnson.
Well, I don't really think people need someone else to tell them what they should do.
Yeah, I was gonna say I knew Coach Tiff Patino was gonna say that.
I think that sometimes people don't want to do what they really, really love because they're afraid. Yes.
Maybe.
Yes, and I think that I think that everybody has something deep. Yeah, yes, I think that everybody has something deep, doesn't know exactly how this is going to make them money because they don't know if people will pay for this, but people will.
I think that one of the benefits, though, of a life coach is that they help you organize your life so that you can make space for it.
Yeah, okay.
So, for example, my friend is a life coach, and I went through one of her 6 weeks. She does sessions where it's like groups of people, and one of the things it helped me do was to prioritize what it was to tangibly document what it is I'm trying to do so that, and then to see it. Like sometimes you don't see that there's
that's
space for
the part,
it.
yes.
Like you have passions and things you're interested in, but you just feel like it's just like a whole lot of puzzle pieces just scrambled up and you can't see the puzzle assembled. And they help you assemble it.
Okay. So I guess that would be what I need at this point.
Yeah. What about you? So it seems like seemingly from someone who wants to do a complete pivot, seemingly you have it all. Like, so what do you need at this stage in your life?
I am just starting to see that this space is opening for time, because like for me, I was constantly like, you know, trying to be mom, trying to be a wife, trying to make sure my kids had what they needed. And so out of doing so, it's like my time was theirs, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I know.
Oh, we
Trust
have this,
and
you know,
believe.
like that
Yes.
phone call, like, hey, I need some such and such from the store because I have to turn this
At
into
11
my-"
p.m.
Yeah,
Did
so
you
like,
get my poster board? What poster board?
exactly. So it's just like, you know, your time, like I think God made moms nurturers for a reason.
Yes.
And we're the ones that keep the house going
Yes.
in the essence of the nurture and movement. And it's like we keep the truck going, you know? And so as a result of that, someone has to be present for that to happen.
Yeah.
And so, you know, like, that meant that like even with studio hours, I could not really have studio hours because I was constantly having to check in with where I needed to be.
Right.
You know, and so that was a non-negotiable for me. So like now I'm starting to see like, ooh, like I can actually have
Now a
time.
life.
I can stay, I can come and be here and not feel bad.
And not feel bad.
Yeah.
Nobody's waiting for me.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Yeah,
Yes,
because I mean,
yes.
like a lot of times people think you're an artist, you paint all the time. I hardly ever paint. Like I'm doing the website and the admin and the tech stuff and
right.
call this person, fill out this application, this grant, that grant. You know, like that's what you do most of the
Yeah.
time. You know, and so. You know, like now I see like, okay, it's actually here. Like this time has come. Like it didn't seem
I know.
like it would ever get here, but it's,
and
it's
now
coming.
it's here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, so this was probably a month or two ago. I still don't fully know what I need. I know I do know what I need. So I just need the opportunity. I just need freedom. Like I need freedom. Like I don't need to go to 8 to 5 or 9 to 4
Or 9 to 3.
whatever time.
coffee
I
house
just don't
today.
need that. Like I need freedom just to be able to do a lot of different things, because at this stage in my life, I could give 2 shits about climbing the corporate ladder anymore. I do it because I had to pay my bills.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I want the freedom just to do, you know, just a bunch of different things.
The things
or
that
just,
you love.
Just travel.
But even when you do it, when you do those things that you love, you also need people that you can connect with
Oh yeah.
to get yourself exposure.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But
because
also,
because
like-
she's super creative. And
She's
you're-
super creative,
and
but the
talented.
thing, and Orlando told her the same thing. She has to channel in
Yeah.
on one thing. Her
Yeah.
mind is kind of everywhere,
that
and you
too.
can't.
It's everywhere.
You
Yeah,
can't
because it's so
focus.
much you
You're a
want to
creative
do, because you
person.
only get so
Yes.
much life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like you shouldn't have to choose. I don't want choices. That's what I was telling Orlando, and I was just like, everything don't have to be perfect, but I do like 100%. You know what I'm saying? But and he was just like, yeah, like.
But I'm
you
gonna
have
say
to
that
do
artists
more.
don't really have to choose. They do a lot of things.
Yeah, they do a lot of things.
Artists do a
And
lot
I
of
don't
things.
wanna
Like
have
you
to
can
choose.
have a movie, you can have a podcast, and you can have a sitcom. And you can do stand-up comedian. We know somebody who does all of those
True.
things.
Yeah, that's true.
You can. When
Yeah.
you are an artist, you can just explore. You have the freedom to do that.
And that's what I
And that's
need
what
in my
you
life
wanna
is freedom.
That's all the things you're talented at. You can do all of that.
Yeah,
So-
and the thing is that I think one of the things my husband was always saying to me, do you want your art to be a business or do you want it to be a hobby? Because when it's a hobby,
That's
it's
a difference.
one thing. But when it becomes your business, it's another thing. Because when it's a hobby, I could just sit and paint. I don't have to think about nothing else,
Right.
you know? Like, I
Yeah.
don't have to think about selling anything.
Yeah.
But when it's a business, you have to do the business model. Like all the admin, you got to be your secretary. You got to go and hire. You got to be your accountant. You got to be all these people that.
Right.
But you're one hat. You
Yep.
know, like it's like you got to take the hat off. Like which one am I going to be today?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be this today. So like
in
distinguishing.
the beginning.
Yeah.
But when you start to explode, then you get your team.
You get a
people
team.
help you.
But
And that's
still,
how
it
you
takes
thrive.
time to get
Yeah,
there.
it
Yeah.
takes time.
Yeah, it takes time. Yeah, but yeah.
And discipline.
Yes,
That's
that
one of
part.
the things I need to work on is my discipline.
Yeah, discipline's hard. I need
Yeah.
an accountability partner. I
Yeah.
need somebody who, you know, will tell you no.
Yeah.
And your husband is a really good accountability partner. Like I had all in my head, like I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this. And at first he was just like, don't do it. And so then when we sat down for lunch, he was just like, can you afford to quit? And I'm like, well, yeah, I can. He said, are you using your 401k? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you can't afford to quit.
No.
No.
You can't afford it.
don't use that. But you know, there are things you can do. Like one of the things, like I get really inspired by, I say this all the time about young people because they do things, they have a different kind of mindset.
They have their own
They have
way.
a mindset like, I'm not working for somebody. My goal is to get out as soon as possible. But they like do like co-working together.
Yes.
Like I'll see like where
Co-create.
they'll call their friends and they'll set up like a FaceTime and they're all working at the same time.
Love it.
You
It's
know,
amazing.
like they just do things to kind of encourage,
Yes,
motivate
yes,
each other.
yes.
You know, like so like and then another thing is like what you can do is like something I need to do that I don't do that I know works is like carve the time. Like when
Carve
you
the
like
time.
let's say you know like on Tuesday and Thursday, those are my creative days. I'm gonna give 2 hours to this and 2 hours to that.
That's good.
And then when Orlando and his timers, you know, when that time's up, he has timers.
He has a warning. Don't let his timers control you, Tamisha.
So, but I mean, like if you have
But
a
it
lot
works
of
though. It
interest,
probably works.
Yeah.
Because I remember
that's
when I was
good.
very unorganized, I was talking to my son about this before. I got me a Franklin Covey planner back when that was a thing. And I used to put everything in a compartment for time. Like I do this for 2 hours, this for an hour. But that helps you move through everything because you're given a space for everything to exist. So like if you want to do comedy, work on your comic parts for this hour. And then if you want to work on topics for your podcast, grab all those little things, those little pieces of paper that you put together, put them all together and start planning. But you just give them a window of time so then you feel like you've tapped into all of it.
I love it.
You know?
That's what she does. She's really good about
Yeah.
compartmentalizing time.
See, we need you, more of you in our lives. See, I watch you. I watch you. Just don't always do it.
They so cute. I love that, Alan. They're so freaking cute. But so the day that in question that I talked about, I had lunch with him, I called her and I just bawled. Like I was just a mess. I'm like, Amika. No, first I wasn't.
First you wasn't, and I was like, just let it out. Like I can tell you're
She
trying
was
to
like,
cry.
what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I can't tell you because if I tell you, I'm gonna cry. She
I
was
said,
like,
cry.
Go ahead and cry.
Cry. I don't understand why we feel that we have to be so strong. Crying is a release.
It
it is a release with the sauce.
It's something that's inherited though.
If you don't solve it, I mean, but it
I
does
think it's
solve
okay.
something.
It does.
It does solve
it
something.
does.
It releases
It
all that, and
releases
when
your
you're able
grievance.
to
It
breathe,
helps you move on.
and that
Oh,
part,
that's
you
good.
can let go and just
like, man,
start
okay.
over.
I mean, you might have a headache
Because if you keep it in, guess what? You still mad.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
still frustrated
And it
or
brings you a
whatever
heart
the problem
attack.
is.
And that's what I was going to say
Yeah.
next. You're going to kill yourself.
Oh,
It's not
God.
worth it.
it's an ingrained thing that's in our culture.
Yeah,
it
It
is.
is. And we have to
Right.
carry
Don't
on
let
this
'em see
fake
you.
persona.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, before we go, we've had a lot of fun
We
with you.
have.
I know.
It goes fast,
You
right?
are great. You are
Oh,
have been a
my
great
goodness.
guest. But we always do a listen to your Thauntie.
Yeah.
Where
Okay.
we give a little pin, a little gem of knowledge, a little nugget for our viewers to take with them.
Okay.
So we'll think about it. We'll start with Foxy. But she always got a book that she's listened to. Read.
Well, today I just have 2 words. It's left them.
Girl, why was I going to say the same thing?
So let's move into just let them.
Let them.
Let them.
Let
Let them
'em.
do whatever they want to do.
Let them.
Let them talk about you. Let them, you know, stab you in the back. Let them abuse you. Not abuse
Not
you
abuse you
physically.
physically.
Not physically.
But, you know.
No diddy.
Yeah, not physically. But, you know, like just take advantage. Or they think that they're taking advantage
That
of you.
part.
Yeah, because you know how it happens at work. They take advantage. Let's keep on letting them.
Let 'em.
And you'll work through it. And guess what? Sometimes you can't worry about what other people are doing. You keep doing your part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I posted that this morning.
Yeah.
The first thing I've heard on my
That's
walk today.
distraction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Keep doing your part.
Yeah.
And just let them
Let them.
do what they do.
Yeah.
I love it.
Let them leave. Let them
Let
walk
them-
away. Let
There you
them
go, continue.
Just let
Let 'em.
them.
Let them.
Because you can't. I think that, and it took us. Well, for me, it took me to get to this age of this season of my life to realize that you can't control people. Like people are gonna people. Life is gonna life. You can only control how you react to things and your life. So when people decide and they show you who they really are, just let them be.
Let them.
Let them.
I would say was something we were talking about earlier among the younger, like, college age students, is whatever it is. Like if you're pursuing a career in something, college is not only for the career, but it is for your whole experience. So if there's something you're passionate about, pursue it too. Find space for it. Take a class, learn something about it, find a community, because you don't want to neglect the years in which you're learning about yourself, only focusing on a career.
Right.
Grow holistically.
Because I think that they'll tell the kids that their elective has to be something elective within their degree,
Yeah.
No, not
Make some
so.
space.
It could be something else.
Yeah.
Not so, because really, honestly, a lot of people don't know what they're going to major in when they get there, and you kind of just start taking these classes, because sociology was not what I wanted my degree to be in, but I fell in love with the classes and it became my degree. So you just have to go out there, like you said, and try different things. I mean, you have the opportunity. It's part of the curriculum.
Yeah.
Well, my message is also to the new graduates. I heard this today from a guy at work. I would shout him out, but I think he snitched me out to HR for being a Thauntie. But anyway, to the graduates, at this time in your life, don't add to the population or subtract from the population. Don't have no babies and don't kill nobody. That's all I got.
Hey, I like that.
I like it. Yeah. Because the kids are out of control right now.
Just let it be.
Lord. So much going on.
Once again, let them.
Let them.
Walk away.
But Tamisha, how can these lovely people buy your work? How can they find you on social media?
Okay. Well, my website is lovelyallenart.com, and you can find me on Instagram and what's the other one?
Facebook?
Facebook. It's Lovely Allen Art. Those are. If you go to any of those platforms, it'll connect you to the other platforms.
Perfect.
So.
Nice.
And I'm at the Melwood Art Center. Come by and see me if you have a cultural pass. I'm in studio number 177.
Woo, I love it.
Thanks for having
Y'all
me.
know how to find us. Like, subscribe, share. Shout out to our sponsor.
Rise and Shine Mobile Services. If you need a ride to home, work, or event, you can always call Rise and Shine Mobile Services.
If your kids have a cultural pass and don't got no ride, call Rise and Shine.
That
part. He'll take you.
That part.
We'll take it.
Also, if you are a business and you are looking to come on the show, you can DM us or email us, and we will be happy to have you.
Or be a sponsor.
Could
I'm like
sponsor.
Kamika. Yeah, don't be on the show. Just send us money. All right, y'all. This has been fun. Thank you,
It has been
Tamisha.
fun. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.